Hello, and welcome to this video on PUBG versus Fortnite. Now, if you're unaware of what these games are, and you've probably only heard of them of the massive aspects of mainly Fortnite, what these are Battle Royale games. Now, what Battle Royale is what from based on is originally a book which was made into a movie about a couple of teenagers who were put on an island with this pretty much C4 neck collar on them, and they were forced to battle to the death to one person standing. And you've seen it remade somewhat in a different way in the movie book-wise of the Hunger Games. Now, what these games are of that is that basically is 100 people are thrown onto an island, be it like you're playing solo by yourself, you're playing duos with you and a friend or a stranger, or you're playing up to 4 people on a game of squads, so of being friends or strangers or a mix of. But it's a it's a last man standing, winner take all, single life gameplay. Now the aspects to of the color that's not in these games, because how would you really work that in a mechanical component, is they have these things called storms basically, and what it is like when you land at some point a circle appears randomly on the map, and after a certain time goes down, this circle is pushed by a storm, and once the circle is hit by the storm, a new circle within that circle forms, and forcing everybody to get closer and closer and closer to, make sure combat truthfully happens, That way no one's really camping on a far end of the map while with one person on the other end of the map, This way, they have to battle, there's no like forever looking for a person or whatever, it's like if that's why they're forced into combat. And like where the movie was, like I said, the collar was in Hunger Games. It was I don't know what that was. It was kind of a gloom put on you of like, if you don't win, especially in a certain time, either we're gonna kill everybody or we're gonna kill your family or some stuff. Like, you look at that story and you can figure out. But yeah, you have these games in which 100 people, last man standing basically kind of thing, or last team standing. Now, one thing I want to get out of the way of the community of people is talking about, especially with things that are coming out of games having this kind of battle royale mode in them, is people talking about how the market is oversaturated. Now, they might be speaking of aspects maybe it becoming oversaturated, but if anybody speaks of the aspects of it being currently oversaturated, factually, you are a fucking idiot. You are, because let's realize, how many games in the battle royale kind of genre do we have mainly? 3? And over the past 3 years, if not more. I mean, how long ago was H1C1? But yeah, we have H1C1, we have PUBG, which came out afterwards, and then we had Fortnite. Now, you can kind of say, Minecraft kind of did it, but that was at like a small enough mode that nobody really talks about. You had Cliff Basinski's studio that's been shut down, who's had Radical Heights, entered the market and left as quickly as it did, because, it was a last-ditch effort to really get that studio, steady and keep going, being that their game before that didn't really meet expectations, being that it was like a kind of a Quake clone-off arena shooter that just didn't get the audience it needed, But yeah, that game left as soon as it ended, pretty much, so, that's not much of what we can speak of. Then you have Darwin Project, which is, a smaller game, but overall, I don't think that's going to get much traction, mainly because I feel it has the feel of it that I would say Titanfall had, or the Call of Duty Advanced Movement games had, and that is being that it is overly chaotic with the movement and stuff. Granted, there's like certain components in there of, you gotta build and you gotta keep yourself warm or whatever, get armor and stuff, But overall, I find that game being like maybe a small aspects of being overly chaotic, but that's, I think, the reason why Titanfall really never took off, is because how overly chaotic it is, So overall, I don't think the market is currently oversaturated. Like I said, mainly you have 3 games to really choose from. You have H1C1, you have Fortnite, and you have PUBG. But the aspects of overall these 2 games, they have some similarities, they have some differences. We're going to talk about, those, the good, the bad, and the controversial and stuff. So first off, similarities. Like I said, they are battle royale genre games. It's a last man standing game. They both have, solo, duo, and 4-player squad game. Mechanically, the similar aspects of, shoot, kill, and whatnot. One life. If you in the duos or squads, if you still have a teammate up, you get downed. and everything. But gun wise, they somewhat similar. But the thing is, let's outside of that, there are major differences. Let's take PUBG over aspects of Fortnite. With PUBG, the way in which some of the mechanics works is one, you only got 2 slots for main weapons to have, as well as a 3rd slot for, say, a pistol, or with the introduction of Miramar, you also have like a double barrel sawed-off shotgun you can have in that slot. And everything, for the most part, has weight. So outside of those 3 slots, it's the only places you can put weapons, your ammo, your equipment of like grenades, health items. They all have weight, in which you have a certain amount of space to begin with, but then later on, if you get like a fest, add space. Doesn't matter what level of fest there are. Being that the higher level of fest there is, the more damage you can take in the chest. Being of 1, 2, and 3. But if you just get a fest, you get an extra bit of slot for carrying things. And then you have the backpack. The higher level of the backpack, the more space you get there. So that's nice. But yeah, they have armor with only a chest and a helmet. And there are varying levels, like I said, 1, 2, and 3. The more higher up you get, the more damage you can take within that area. Whereas with Fortnite and their system of things you can have and keep and whatnot, you get a certain amount of materials, because in this game you got stuff you can build and everything. So you have 3 different materials. You have wood, you have stone, you have metal, in which wood takes less damage, takes the least amount of damage, to destroy. Stone takes more than that, and metal takes, of course, the most. And you have up to 999 you can hold with ammo. I'm not sure if there is a max or anything, because people have had so much ammo and stuff. It's just weird, especially on the aspects of, say, like a sniper. Like why do you need 100 shots from a sniper rifle? You're not gonna use much. Like I said of like say in PUBG, where it's like you can have a sniper and have ammo. It's like, but you certainly like say what is a Car 98, which is a single shot sniper rifle, which can do pretty much a 1-shot kill on the head if you have no helmet, a level 1 helmet, or even a level 2 helmet. If you have a level 3 helmet, you can take at least a shot and keep going. But any of those under it, you get shot in the head, you dead, or in the aspects of team gameplay, you're down. So yeah, but usually you don't want that much ammo with it, because like how many shots are you truly gonna take with it? So I think that's more well balanced in aspects like what ammo you should have and everything, whereas like you can just pretty much have unlimited ammo of what you can find that is in Fortnite. But back to the aspects of the system, like they have 5 slots in which you can carry equipment, weapons, and health, whereas the ammo and the resources is pretty much has pretty much unlimited aspects to it. But yeah, you have 5 slots to have of what you want to carry, which I find to be like, I understand this is taking aspects from PUBG into Fortnite, but I feel like as they add more and more and more items in, they need a backpack system. Now I've had a video, I'm not sure where it is, of an idea of which they could have this kind of system. They have like their level of items. They have gray, which is common. You have uncommon, rare, legendary, epic, and with that you can have certain slots. The common have 1 slots, up to the epic is 5 slots. But the way it would work, you can only find common out on the ground, with the uncommon maybe ground for the most part, chest, whereas the rare one you can only find in chest, as with the legendary and the epic ones you can only find in what would be their loot crate, kind of what would be a supply drop system. That's the only place you can find it, which would make more of a sense to recently go to those, being that of these 2 games of before we get into that, of like I said with the Fortnite health system aspects of armor, that is, versus PUBG, which you find armor and you put it on, and it has also a certain amount of damage you can take, and of as damage it can take. At some point, if you get shot enough and you're still stable and everything, that armor will go away. So you're gonna have to find more armor later on. So there's that. Whereas with Fortnite, there's these kind of like jugs or juices, whatever is what potions, what give you armor. And there are different types of potions. There's one where it gives you 50 armor and 50 health. There's another potion that gives you 25 armor, but it's only usable up to 50. Whereas there's the main one, which gives you 50 armor, but granted you can only have up to 100 armor. And there's this other last one called the Chug Jug, where it gives you 100 armor and 100 health. Yeah, with that, that's how you have kind of your armor. It's pretty much it's a shield. It's an invisible shield, which does replenish in a way which you got to use these with your health. With both these games, you have like these bandages. With the bandages, you're going to get up to 75% health in both games, and then you're going to have to use what would be a med pack. Granted, again with both games, which you can get up to 100 health, but within Fortnite, you can only use these aspects. So it's like say with shields and with the armor, there you can only use with your shield, your potions with your shield, and your health items with your armor. With in PUBG, what they have is called stims. Now stims being that only works with your health, and like I said, up to a certain point with bandages, you can only get up to 75%. But with stims, they help you, over time get you up to 100% in health. Now let's talk about the aspects of their weapons. But yeah, overall, before that, the health system, they're kind of balanced in the way that they work with like the health and the armor and everything. I think within the way these games work within themselves, like the shield and the health, the way those work with the potions and the health items. I think it's well balanced in the aspects of the way they work in Fortnite. With again also with PUBG, the way they have the armor, their health, their stims. I think it's well balanced there as well. So in the aspects of health and everything, these two are well balanced. Now, aspects of weapons, which will include the whole slot system. Like I said, with Fortnite, they have a slot system where you can only have certain items up of weapons and health and of armor, their potions and stuff. Which like I said, I think it's okay, but as they add more and more and more stuff in, they truly need a backpack system. Because it's becoming too much of a choose of things of what you want. Like I think with PUBG, with the weapons they have and how everything and the way it's balanced there with your slots and whatnot, I think that is actually well balanced in the way those things work. Of like choosing. Whereas with Fortnite, I think it's not balanced because, as I said, they add more and more stuff in. It becomes too much of a choice, of what you want. Whereas that might be balanced in the way we would say you were in a game of squads or a game of duos. In which, I'm going to hold this stuff, I'm going to hold the potions, I'm going to hold the health, you hold, these weapons and stuff, because you're the better shooter and stuff. Like, it might work more balanced in the aspects, like I said, duos or squads, but in the aspects of solo, it just doesn't feel balanced, being that, like I said, it becomes too much of a choice. I understand that you need to have an aspects of, like, what to choose, but being, like I said, items and stuff, they keep adding in over more and more, so being that you haven't really much done in aspects of map-wise other than, reforming their current map. They just give you too much items to choose from, like I said, in the aspects of maybe a solo aspect, you're being forced too much to choose what you could use later on, which, like, okay, I got this items which help out with this situation, but if I had those items, this would have helped me out more with that situation, which I lost, kind of thing, it's it's too much of a devil's advocate kind of thing, it's too much choosing, But like I said, over here in PUBG, I think the aspects of the way they have their slots and the weight of everything and stuff, the way they make you choose, I think it's more balanced there. Now, on the aspects of weapons, one thing I would say about both these games that I find, it's kind of interesting, but I think it's more well balanced than PUBG aspects with, like I said, the additives stuff, but of the secondary items, like the pistols, after you get a certain weapon and aspects of these games, it's just the pistol becomes irrelevant, really. Like I said, with PUBG, you have two main weapons you can have. With Fortnite, you can have up to 5 whatever. Like I said, at some point, it's like once you get a weapon, the pistols become pointless. So I don't think pistols themselves are fully really balanced. At least with Fortnite over say PUBG. With PUBG, the selection, they have a variety of selection of pistols. With Fortnite, they have like I guess the Deagle, which it's a more choice of a weapon to have. But you got the regular pistol, which again at some point becomes irrelevant, being that it's like okay, I have an SMG. This pistol's pointless, unless I have outside the same, because they use both, because they both use the same ammo. That is, an SMG uses the same ammo as a pistol, I believe. I could be wrong. It's been so long since I played Fortnite. It's like probably since February, maybe since PUBG itself came out, because I just like the overwhelmingness of some of the stuff just seemed odd to me. But whatever. Like I said, for the most part, pistols though, at some point they become irrelevant once you get like an SMG, or maybe prefer an AR and a shotgun, which we'll get more into aspects of those things balance wise. But I think with PUBG, like I said, the variety of weapons that they have and the way in which they balance, of the different pistols they have, they have just regular pistol, they have a revolver, or two technically now, since Miramar. They've got a pistol that's pretty much a semi-auto pistol, aka the Glock. It's called something else, but everybody knows it. It's the Glock. So you can have an automatic pistol with, say a AR and a sniper, or an AR and a shotgun and stuff. You can have like a good variety of weapons there. Or like I said, with the additive of Miramar, you have a double barrel shotgun. So if you're in close quarters, like, okay, I got an AR and I got an SMG. Let's have this shotgun as aspects in case we're getting in close quarters. Double barrel, hit them there, move to the side. Pull out the SMG, AR, whatever, position them off that way. I think it's with PUBG, with the aspects of the secondary, it's overall more balanced than, say, Fortnite. I mean, like I said, you might have the deagle, but overall it's just like, well, they have that revolver, but overall it's like, it just doesn't feel balanced enough to, like I said, once you have these certain weapons, you really need a pistol. It just becomes irrelevant. It just does. But moving on to the main weapons, like I said, we have SMGs, we have shotguns, we have ARs, assault rifles. If you're not sure what that means, it's the shortened version of assault rifles. So yeah, you have ARs, you have sniper rifles, you have LMGs and stuff overall. But of the balance of the weapons themselves, they keep balancing whatever best that they can over at PUBG. They've made it to where it's like, I think, as many stated, the SMGs currently are okay, but they did on some testing of the PC, like they changed it up to where like they're more usable now. But I don't know, we'll see. We'll have to wait on Xbox, because like I said, I have the Xbox version. I have an Xbox. I don't have a PC to play games. I've stated this many times. But yeah, they tested to where like you're more inclined to have an SMG now and stuff. Whereas over in Fortnite, they have similar aspects of weapons. They also, they have crossbows and stuff. Whatever, they have a variety of weapons. But on aspects of PUBG versus Fortnite, PUBG, I think overall the way your choice you are given to have of these weapons, it's more to your playstyle of what you want. But with Fortnite, the balance and the way the whole game works and everything with the building. If you don't know, I didn't say much about that in the beginning, but there is a building mechanic in Fortnite. You can build walls, ceilings, floors, and you can change them up in any way you want, and angles and stuff. But the way in which I would say the meta of the game, with PUBG, the meta is like whatever you want. With Fortnite, the meta is like you have to have a shotgun and an AR, pretty much. Because the way in which you ever see gameplay of Fortnite is like, either you're building and you're trying to shoot them at a distance with an AR, maybe a sniper, or you're close quarters combat and you jump around like a fucking jackrabbit trying to shoot them with a shotgun. Which I find the aspects of reasons why I think PUBG is kind of over Fortnite weapon-wise is because there's no true balance to having all the weapons. Like, there's no true choice of weapons. You have to have a shotgun. In PUBG, you don't have to. It's nice to have one, but you don't have to have a shotgun. Whereas with Fortnite, you have to have a shotgun, because once you get to that close quarters combat, SMG is okay, but for the most part, like I said, you just see people jumping around like fucking jackrabbits trying to shoot each other with shotguns. So I think that weapons-wise, overall, there's not a true balance there in Fortnite, because it's, like I said, most gameplays you ever see is of people either building and shooting from a distance, or being close quarters combat and jumping around like jackrabbits shooting shotguns, or aspects of what one of the other things I think of the unbalance of the aspects with its building mechanics is like you see people just trying to build on top of each other over and over and over. That's overall, I just don't think currently right now Fortnite is truly balanced. I think they need to look over at their game and really change it up in some way or not, because like I said, like either you see three mechanics aspects wise, which two of them are kind of combined together. Like I said, you have the building and shooting from a distance, which is okay because they have the building mechanics, so it's understandable that you build. But then you have the shotgun battles, which like I said, you see people just jumping around with shotguns like fucking jackrabbits trying to hit each other. And then like I said, you have this people just building on top of each other over and over each other, which usually you see them just doing so with shotguns again. So it's the combination of the building and the shotgun things. So it's just overall for PUBG, I think with their weapon mechanics, everything's kind of an okay balance with each other, Whereas with, like I said, Fortnite, it's just there's no true balance there because you have to have a shotgun. I understand. And, shotguns have a good aspects of gameplay here and there, but with PUBG, it's not about what you have to have. Granted, in it, kind of, you have to have an AR. But with them, it's a choice of what AR. Whereas with PUBG, it's like you have to kind of have the SCAR AR. For the most part, you have to have a shotgun. It feels really weird, because with close quarters combat with PUBG, AR really works well. Shotgun works well. A SMG works well. These work well in the way in which they're balanced. With PUBG, it's good, but with Fortnite, it's just you have to have a shotgun, and you have to have that higher tier of a shotgun, to get that damage. It seems to imbalance that you have to have a shotgun for that close quarters combat. AR, like I said, is understandable for both at least these games. If you're gonna shoot a distance, snipers is okay, but ARs is what you need. It's factual, like if you want to shoot from a good distance, AR, or even like with an SMG in PUBG, it's like, again, with PUBG, for overall their mechanics and the balance and everything with their weapons, it's good aspects of what you want to choose from, it's like what playstyle do you feel like today, or overall your playstyle. But like I said, with Fortnite, it's just you have to have a shotgun. It just seems odd, you truly don't even need to have an AR in PUBG. SMG can do well as well. You can have an SMG shotgun, SMG sniper, AR sniper. It's a good variety of choice in which the way they have that game balanced. But with Fortnite, you have to have a shotgun. And I think that's an imbalance. Truthfully, it is, because if you have to have something, then you're taking away the aspects of choice from your players. And that's why I think with the mechanics overall of choice of weapons and everything, Fortnite wins over PUBG. PUBG wins over Fortnite. Because with them, like, the way they have everything kind of, for the most part, balanced, it's a good variety of choice, to what you want to have. With Fortnite, you have to have that shotgun. You have to. There's no choice. You have to have that shotgun. Because at some point or another, you're going to be in close quarters combat, and you're going to need that shotgun for when you're jumping around like the enemy, like fucking jackrabbits. It's odd as shit. That they just have this forcefully unbalanced aspects of gameplay, and everybody's just going along with it and being okay with it, It's odd. That's just factual. In Fortnite, you have to have that shotgun, because at some point you're going to have most likely a close quarters combat, and you, as well as the enemy, are going to be jumping around each other like fucking jackrabbits, shooting each other with shotguns. It's fucking idiotic. Now, people are okay with this imbalance. It's true. It's factual. It is imbalance, because if you have to be forced to use something, there's no longer the aspects of choice there. You're forced to use the shotgun in the aspects of game which you're supposed to have choice. It's fucked up. It is. Now, one of the other differences between these two games, at least of Fortnite, is they have this mechanic of traps, or trap, that is. Being that in the beginning they had 3 traps. You have the spike trap, which is the only trap you have now, which you could only place on the floor. You have wall and ceiling traps, which were these kind of electrical traps, which I think maybe did more damage, or did at least equal damage as the floor trap, but the way that which they worked, unlike the floor trap, which you could see when you open up door, hey, there's a floor trap, you sometimes couldn't see these traps, and the way they balanced that is that you could hear them. Now, I think the way in which they tried to evaluate this and change it up is they made it, like I said, the floor trap is the only trap, the spike trap that is. The spike trap is the only trap that you can use now. You can put on those ceilings, floors, and walls. In which they try to balance that out now, being that they've changed it up, is that they've made it to where it's like it only does certain damage. Which I can understand, say, it does the most damage on the floor since you can see it, but it does less damage a bit more so on the wall, which you can kind of still see it, but it does a bit less damage. But when you put it on the ceiling, it does even less damage, being that it's the less likely area in which you can see. But I think that still in itself is an imbalance, being that that's not the way it works. It works overall the same, no matter where you place it. and I find that to be hard. I think the way which it originally was, which was the floor trap, the wall trap, and the ceiling trap, themselves were kind of balanced in some way, but I think overall it worked better because, like I said, with the floor trap you could see it, with the wall and the ceiling trap you can't see it, but you could hear it. But I think they tried to, like I said, balance it out by removing those two and just having the spike trap. But I think it would have worked overall if, like, say, the wall trap was still that kind of electrical trap, but it made a sound, but not as noticeable and not as, say, frequent. So, you know, they still have the opportunity of getting them that way. Whereas with the ceiling trap they have in at least the base game, you know, that's what Fortnite originally was. There was no battle royale. There was a base co-op shoot 'em up of you know, survival build of save the world mechanic. It's basically what it's called now. It's Fortnite Save the World, which was the original Fortnite. But they have a trap in there for the ceiling called a gas trap. Now I think with that they could have that in the, say, like I said, bring back the wall trap, make it do, you know, make all the traps do 100, but, you know, the floor trap be that spike trap, the wall trap be that electrical trap, but make noise, but not too noticeable. Like I said, not as frequent and maybe not as loud as it was. As the ceiling trap would be a gas trap, you know, that way you have different types of traps. You have gas, you have spike, you have electrical. And with the gas trap, maybe make no sound, but it does damage, but it also does damage over time, you know. I think with these 3 different types of traps, it would be more overall well balanced, you know. Whereas, like I said, right now they just have the spike trap. You can put it on any place, but they lower the damage overall no matter where you place it. So most times you're ever gonna place it anywhere is probably on like a ceiling or maybe a wall. You really are probably gonna see it on floors, because what's the point? You know, they're gonna see it. So, you know, right now I don't think the trap aspects of the game itself is balanced. You know, so overall, so far still, Fortnite isn't that well balanced. Now back to the mechanics I said earlier about the building mechanics of Fortnite. Like I said, like, one thing, it's understandable that, you know, they have this mechanic in here and you want to use it, but like I said, one of the kind of 3 gameplays you see nowadays is like, you see people building on top of people, you know, over and over and each other. There's like, keep building, keep building, keep building, keep building, which I find to be unbalanced. Like I said, it's understandable that you have this building mechanic and you want to use it, but I think there needs to be a balance around the fact that you keep seeing people build over each other over and over and over. It just becomes less imbalanced. Like, build up to a certain point aspects wise, but, you know, I think it would be like, there should be like building fatigue. Like, I think there was, at least, they should bring back jumping fatigue, you know? After a certain point, if you jumping around, you know, you can do it less, do it higher, you know, kind of thing, you know, bring a true balance to it. The fact that you can just constantly jump around and just jump around like jackrabbits shooting each other with shotguns is fucking imbalanced, you know? Like I said, with the shotgun, you have to have it. It's just like the fact that you have to have a weapon in aspects of a game which should be more of a choice is not that balanced. It's like I said with the building aspect, the fact that you can build so much so quickly, just retarded. Being like in the aspects of building, you know, everything there is destructible, you know, pretty much. You know, outside the map itself, you know, the materials you get and the way you get them and everything. So basically everything is destructible. You know, you can shoot it, you can blow it up and whatnot. But the fact that you can build faster than what, you know, somebody is shooting at you with, basically, outside of maybe an LMG. The fact that you can shoot at a person who has a wall up and then they build it so fast that you can't even hit them over and over and over and over again is just an imbalance in itself, you know. Like I said, the building mechanics should be balanced, but the way in which it works, like I said, with the whole overall that you can keep building on top of each other, or you can build so fast that when somebody's shooting at these walls and destroy them that you can put another one up before they even hit you with a shot, is truly imbalanced. It just is. Whereas with PUBG, we're gonna, you know, fit back here, you know, there is no destructibility, you know, outside, say, the vehicles. Being that, you know, we're gonna talk about the maps here in a second, but the aspects of the maps, you know, with PUBG itself, they're so big, you need vehicles to pretty much move around, you know. Being that if you're on one side of the map and the circle forms, you know, on the other side of the map, you need to get there, and running there is possible. You know, maybe you have health and stuff, but say you got in a fight and you don't have that much health and stuff, you need to find a vehicle so you can travel over to that circle as best as you can. So, you know, but with these vehicles, you know, they are the only form of destructibility in that game. Unlike Fortnite, where everything pretty much is destructible except for maybe what they kind of added in a vehicle. I don't know. I haven't played, like I said, I haven't played it since maybe January or February. But recently they added in somewhat of their own vehicle called a shopping cart. So you can, but with it you can only have 2 people in it. You can have one person in the cart and one person pushing the cart. So if you gave a squads and you come across the cart, only you and one other person can get in it. Whereas your 2 fellow people will have to maybe find another shopping cart. Whereas in PUBG, where they had vehicles since the beginning, they have a balance to a lot of these vehicles. You have a bike. Now you have 2 types of bikes though. You have a bike where you can only have 2 people on it, or you have a bike with a sidecar where you can have 3 people on it. Where the way the bike works is it's the fastest main vehicle there is. Being that it has no boost, being that it has no boost, it has to be the fastest vehicle. But the thing is, it is one of the harder things to drive on aspects of bumps and everything. If you go flying, you will be able to fall out and die from it and everything. You're more exposed with it. And like I said, if you crash, you can pretty much, instead of staying in the vehicle, it will launch you off of it and you will probably die that way. Whereas they have other vehicles. They have a buggy, which can only take 2 people. And the person in the driver's seat is, for the most part, more armored and everything. If you're playing outside of solos. Whereas you have a teammate on the back who's like more exposed. But it's got good speed to it. It's got a good balance to it. The 4-person vehicles, you have the UAZ and you have the Dacia. Now in the newer game, or a newer update with the map Miramar, they've added other vehicles. They've added trucks. They've added I was supposed to say SUV. They added not sure they added SUV. I guess the truck / SUV kind of thing, where it's like whatever. But they've added I don't think they have whatever. I'm sorry. Scratch that SUV shit. Retarded weather. I admit that. But they have a fan. They have a fan in it, and they've also added in this kind of I'm not sure if it's a 2 or 4-person vehicle, but pretty much a topless car. They've added in, but they've also added in they have vehicles in the water. They have water vehicles. They have boats, and for the most part, the boats are like up to 5 people you can put in them. So if you can do custom games like that, you have more people in PUBG with that. But you can have up to 5 people in a regular boat. But they also have a ski-doo that they added in with Miramar, I believe. Whereas it's only up to 2 people that can be on a ski-doo. It's faster though, so you have that. Yeah, they have a good variety range of vehicles that both, like I said, ground, of trucks and pretty much, I guess the UAZ is an SUV kind of thing. But yeah, they have a good variety of vehicles of those land as well as sea vehicles. Being that there's a good bit of water in at least the first map. They have a little bit in the second map. With the third map kind of being a jungle with a good bit of water and land, but a lot of trees. So vehicle, there's probably less. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm talking so much and so fast, having a drink, pretty much since I started this video. It's been going on for half an hour. There we go. Like I said, in Fortnite, they do have kind of a vehicle called a shopping cart. Which is okay, whatever, With, from what I've seen of gameplay, and Fortnite with their vehicle, if you're in pretty much inside the car, pretty much the passenger seat is the only place you can shoot. So if you're on it in solo, the way you would have to do is you have to keep rolling, either jump off or jump into the passenger seat and shoot that way. But within PUBG's aspects, if you're driving and you're in a solo game, or if you're just the driver yourself, you cannot shoot. So if you're playing solo, at some point you'd have to get out of the vehicle and shoot that way, or get into a passenger seat and shoot. But yes, if any passenger of the squad itself, or you've got a duo going on, you got a passenger with you, they can shoot in any of the vehicles aspects wise. It doesn't matter if it's land or sea vehicle. If you got a passenger, they can shoot. But like I said, the driver cannot shoot, not even a pistol. So you'd have to, like I said, either jump into the passenger seat if you're, say, in a sea vehicle especially, or you have to, stop the vehicle and jump out and shoot that way. Because if you're in motion with the vehicle and you jump out, you take damage up to a certain speed, of course, where you pretty much jump out, you're dead. You just dead. And yes, if you get hit by the vehicle, you take damage. Like I said, up to a certain speed, at some point you will be dead. You can take up a certain damage, but at a certain speed, if you get hit by a vehicle, you dead. you just thought you did. I haven't seen anybody like really hit with I think if you get hit with a shopping cart in Fortnite, you do take damage, but I don't think you can go fast enough to where you can one-hit somebody. But I haven't watched much of Fortnite, so I don't know. Like I said, I also don't play it, so there's that. So who knows if they've... But like I said, with the shotguns and everything, I think still from what I've seen of people, like I've mainly watched a video gameplay would be from Stone Mountain, but yeah, what I've seen is like the meta is just, jump around with shotguns and shoot each other that way. Which I find to be an imbalance, of all these variety of weapons. The fact that you have to have a shotgun, still I say, is just so imbalanced. The fact that you have to have something in a game where you got such variety of choice that you have to have something outside of, like, say, the armor, the health, anything of weapons and stuff. The fact that you have to have something takes away choice, which I think is an imbalance, like I said. But on the aspects of, say, the performance of these two games, PUBG kind of course, goes downhill over Fortnite. Fortnite, of course, being of the Epic Games, which one thing I want to touch on, I'm not sure which some people may be stating this thing, but from what I've heard, I can't wait for a AAA developer to really get into the Battle Royale game stuff. You fucking idiot, you do know that Epic is a AAA developer, right? They are the people behind the Gears of War games, Which, at E3 they just announced 3 Gears of War games, the tactics, the main game itself of Gears 5, following the story for the last game, as well as a odd pop kind of figure mobile game. But it was rumored that they were going to have a Battle Royale game, but since they barely touched on the main game itself, which, still in itself could have maybe a Battle Royale mode, so we have to wait and see about that, But yeah, Epic are the guys behind Gears of War. Granted, it's mostly known from Cliff Bleszinski, but as we've seen here, him and his studio tried to do the Battle Royale, and it just, I think for the most part, the reason why it went down so quickly was because it seemed too rushed, we want to stay with our studio, so here's a Battle Royale game, and our kind of style and stuff. But Epic, Epic, they are the people who brought you Gears of War, so, they are AAA developers, so boom, you have a AAA developer who is in the Battle Royale genre with Fortnite. But like I said, they might be talking about, say, a AAA developer within the AAA game kind of area. Like I said, with Gears of War, what if, Epic did a Battle Royale in Gears of War, like we have with Call of Duty. We're seeing this AAA developer in their AAA game series of Call of Duty have a Battle Royale. EA with DICE in Battlefield 5, they're going to have a Battle Royale game. It's going to be interesting to see that. But if people were speaking on the aspect, say, I can't wait to see a AAA developer in their AAA games, of, be it Gears, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Red Dead Redemption, see it in their series, their known series, to have a Battle Royale. Like I said, that might be understandable, being that Fortnite was like a new game from Epic. But if you're talking about, like, I can't wait for a AAA developer to, do the Battle Royale genre, it's like, Epic. Guys, Epic. They are a AAA developer. They are in the Fortnite series. They are in the Battle Royale series right now with Fortnite. So, if you're thinking, you can't wait for one to do it, one has already been done, you're dumb shit. Seriously. Yeah, fucking idiot. That's just fact. A AAA developer has dipped its toe into the Battle Royale genre with Fortnite, with Epic. But like I said, maybe they're talking about maybe more than just the one, maybe multiple ones, as well as being, like I said, maybe the series of, like, say, Gears, Call of Duty, Battlefield, Call of Duty, I said already, dumbass, Red Dead Redemption, maybe. We'll see if they have one. Wonder if they're going to announce... Rockstar even at E3 this year? Have they already been at E3? Whatever. Yeah, I just wanted to get that off my chest, because seriously, the AAA developers is understandable, or like I said, of the games they've known for having a Battle Royale in it, or like just that being of the game. But say you want a AAA developer, a single one, Epic has already stepped in. But yeah, I just want to get out of the way. But on the aspects to say performance, like I said, of these games, Fortnite wins, of course, over PUBG, being that, like I said, it is a AAA developer. They are a big studio, so, they have the more resources and stuff, and they're creators of the Unreal Engine, which is what PUBG is run on. But as they have stated, they've gotten behind on performance issues and whatnot, and they got a roadmap to do what they can. I mean, would you really say that the PUBG was a great game if it came out aspects the way it works now of release? I mean, like I said, they came out in early access, and it's like, well, you're gonna have to give us leeway. This is like beta, pre kind of alpha game stuff, So give us some wiggle room. This is pre-release game. Which, I mean, like I said, still to this day, I've heard a lot of complaints about issues and hackers on fucking PUBG. So, overall, performance-wise, Fortnite's been going better. I mean, they've had issues here and there, performance-wise, a bit, but overall, they're doing good. Whereas with PUBG, they have been lingering a bit. I have said, well, we are an indie developer, but after the hundreds of millions of dollars that they've made from the game itself on PC, let alone say Xbox, I paid into that early access shit. How can they really state themselves as being an indie developer? They've made enough money to where they can hire a good bit of people to really better their game. But outside, say, performance, like I said, Fortnite won that one over PUBG, so they got that at least over them. Let's talk about, say, updates and, kind of DLC stuff. With, like I said, Fortnite, they've added in a lot of, like I said, equipment aspects-wise, juice, health, maybe. I don't think they really added anything health-wise, but kind of outside that chug jug, like I said, they added a chug jug and they added juice where you can get 50 health and 50 armor. But they've added mostly, added some weapons, mostly equipment here and there and stuff. They haven't really added in new maps. They've, like I said, reimagined their map in different ways here and there and added stuff in or took some stuff out or just remapped it in a different way. But overall, they haven't really added in anything new map-wise, which one thing I want to say kind of gives them a downfall over PUBG. Granted, they've added more equipment over PUBG, which, yes, weapons and stuff, they got that over PUBG, but map-wise, they haven't added a new map, and it's, almost been a year now since this game been out, and granted, PUBG took a while to get a new map in, but it wasn't a year's time. It was almost, but we're coming up close on the, we're 2 months away, I think, 2-3 months away from when Fortnite released, at least near maybe the update where they added in Battle Royale. So we're getting close to that 1 year mark, and they haven't added a new map in, or even, from what I can understand from what any people I've been watching, talked about implementing a new map. So, at some point I feel like PUBG is gonna, get maybe more people from Fortnite over some stuff, like I said, of the overly chaotic aspects of the imbalance of the shotguns, the imbalance of the building mechanics and stuff. Not to mention that, we've been talking about the aspect that they haven't added in a new map. It's granted, these are games, there's no the way which you just play, it changes in different ways in which, the way you land, the way you, weapons you get and stuff, everything's randomized, so, you get a different gameplay with each game for the most part, but overall, the fact that they haven't added a new map in yet, or they're going to add in a new map, which we're about to talk about maps, aspects-wise to these two games, is kind of odd, Being of the maps, with Fortnite, their map is pretty small, it's not that too big of a space, but it's not too small of a space either, it's an average good size, whereas, like I said, with PUBG, their maps is so big, if you're on one end of the map and the circle's on the other, you're gonna have to need a vehicle to get to that circle, for the most part, But yeah, of these two games, the PUBG has the bigger map, but they've already, had the main map. They released a new one last year, which they've kind of been testing on Xbox recently, but about a week or two ago. I'm not sure when, but they released the Miramar map that they had on PC back in say November, testing wise, or at least release wise maybe. They have it now on the live server here on Xbox, And from what they've shown at E3, they also talked about, the new map that they've mainly been testing, the smaller map, whereas most of their maps are 8x8 size, of pretty big. The newer map, which is, like I said, this jungle map, is a 4x4. It's smaller, get the combat going in closer and stuff, and quicker and everything. Which is kind of about near the same size, maybe a bit still bigger than the main Fortnite map, being the only map that is, So yeah, they've said at E3 on the Xbox press conference, or at least not said but shown, that coming this summer, which is pretty much next kind of 2 months, really 2-3 months, they're gonna be releasing that map on Xbox, which is kind of quick, being that, like I said, they had Miramar back in like November, kind of last year, and they just pretty much about a week or two ago released it fully after testing a bit on their, which something new we'll talk about here in a second, test servers on Xbox. They just released it fully on the main server. And they're going to release the map that they've been testing that's going to be going live later this month on PC, their newer jungle map, smaller and everything, later this summer on Xbox. That's nice. And they also talked about how they said winter is coming, almost like they're like either teasing they're going to have what they have at least already in PC of weather elements. They got rain, they got fog, and things, or just the regular sunshiny map. I wonder if they're at any point going to add a night look to it. That'd be interesting to have, like a darker, like maybe add in flashlight attachments to like these maps when they're at night. That'd be kind of cool, But yeah, overall, like they've shown, like they're progressing the Xbox version of PUBG really quickly with the PC version. Like I said, they just got done testing pretty much the third new map, and they're going to be releasing later this month on PC and later this summer on Xbox. That's nice. So maybe not really releasing it, at least on the live servers. Maybe they're talking about like it's going to go on the test servers, which as I stated, they have test servers on Xbox pretty much. It's called the public test server, or as anyone would call it, the TDS, technical sorry, throat's still hurting. I've been talking so much and so fast, pretty much. It's considered a technical, I can't say that word for some reason, a technical test server, TTS for short, and it's what they have released on PC, but it's pretty much the first of its kind on Xbox, or at least on console in general. You don't usually see a test server, kind of like, it's its own game, essentially, mainly, that is, of PUBG, it's its own game, but you're testing out the new maps, the new weapons, and everything, so it's interesting to see that they're maybe probably going to be released on the new third map on the test servers sometime this summer. Like I said, also they showed off a map where it's like it's all snow and wintry, so maybe it's going to be, they're adding weather mechanics to the Xbox as well as a new weather mechanic of snow overall to the game itself with Xbox and PC, or maybe it's a new snow map that they teased on Xbox, or at least the Xbox press conference, that's going to be coming later this winter. It just said coming this winter. So I don't know if it's aspects of the game map itself being winter, or if it's coming this winter. I have to wait and see. I can't wait. But yeah, overall, adding stuff-wise in, PUBG has had items added in here and there, kind of weapons for the most part, but for the most part they've added in more maps, so more variety there. Granted, the map Miramar, which we talked about, a lot of people didn't like that, being that originally it was supposed to be smaller than the first map, which is called Erangel. Yeah, it was supposed to be smaller, but it's actually bigger. It's like, I think it's like 9x9 maybe, but it is overall bigger than the original map, and it's just the way in which it's designed. Most agree it's just not a good design. It's an imbalanced map. Nobody wants, for the most part, most of these don't want to play on it because it's mostly hills. So driving itself, being that it's a big map, it's kind of, it's not, you have to be on the roads pretty much. You can try the hills, but for the most part, unless you're a really good driver in this game, it's just not that balanced. Cause like I said, for the most part, like with at least Erangel, you can pretty much almost drive anywhere. Drive any way you want. You have a lot of more flat lands, or at least not such high hills. In Erangel, whereas in Miramar, it's mostly hills, and if you're gonna drive, you mostly have to drive on the road itself, which again, I find it imbalanced. Like I said, with the shotguns on Fortnite, it's the fact that you're taking choice kind of away from the gamer is an imbalance in itself. Like I said, it's like you could try to drive up these hills, but for the most part, you're best on the road. And the fact that, granted, also it's a desert map, so there's less trees and less it's just less cover in the game. They try to balance out the lack of trees with, like I said, these hills. So you get coverage with these hills and stuff, which I don't think is a true aspect of cover. You want something that's like right in front of you, that can be in front of you in any direction. Whereas with the hill, it's like it's in front of you in this direction, but the sides and behind you, you're so fucking exposed. But with, like, say, a forest, I got a tree in front of me, I can move around this tree, or I can move to another tree if I need to, or you got this rock near me, like the elements themselves add better cover in Erangel than any kind of elements in Miramar. It's just like most people just don't like the design map of Miramar. It just wasn't a good design map for the PUBG, or just a Battle Royale game overall. Within the Fortnite, granted Fortnite doesn't have that much in hills and stuff. It kind of does here and there, but for the most part, the way you get cover in that game, you build. You got the building mechanics. So, like I said, it's understandable that you have the building mechanic, and you want to build and everything. You need cover this way and stuff here and there. But it's whatever. But overall, they're adding in, like I said, another map that got tested currently, or at least recently, of this jungle map, which a lot of people like. Much better than Miramar. And supposedly there's going to be another map, so that's almost a fourth map coming out at the end of this year. So within about a year and a half, almost 2 years, they've added in pretty much, from what it looks like, 4 maps. Like I said, it might be a map, might be a weather thing. Who knows? We have to wait and see. But let's assume it's a map. So by the end of this year, they're pretty much adding in a 4th map into PUBG. Whereas with Fortnite, like I said, they've added in equipment here and there, but they haven't added in a map yet. They haven't really done anything map-wise. And I think that's a downfall on their side. Granted, they've added equipment here and there, but you really want more variety aspects-wise. Not just in stuff you can use, but where you can play. And granted, like I said, they've added in stuff to the map itself, or changed it up, or removed, or whatever, It's nice and all, but at some point it does become repetitive and boring. And they need to add in the map soon. That's factual. That's not just my statement. Granted, it's doing okay right now, but I feel like if they don't add in a new map soon, and it just keep reformatting in some way, or adding or removing some aspects of the current map, people are just going to be annoyed on that aspects and just leave. So yeah, it's just factual. At some point, they need to add a new map, or it's going to be overly repetitive and just annoyed and everything, and people are going to move over to Call of Duty, over to Battlefield, over to maybe, like I said, Red Dead might have a Battle Royale game, or whatever, But yeah, it's like, if they don't add in a new map soon, to add in Good Friday with maybe, say, new equipment here and there, like they did with Miramar or PUBG or something, they're gonna lose a good bit of player base here and there. Not much, I'm not saying, but still, at some point they're gonna notice, like, yeah, we need to do something different, and a new map would do that. They need to add in a new, different type of map. It's just factual. They do. It's because as it's been out for almost a year now, and at some point, it's just from the map standpoint itself, people are gonna get just tired of it and sick of it, and it's just gonna be stale and everything. And it doesn't. And there's like, oh, we added this new area, or we changed this aspect, or we added a side part to the island. It's like they might get excited here and there, but it's gonna have the Destiny kind of feel. It's like, yeah, you're adding new stuff in, but it's just not what we wanted, kind of thing. Maybe it's just like they truthfully do need to add in a new map. It feels right that they truthfully, factually kind of do so. It's, in my opinion, yes, but factually, like I said, most likely they need to do so soon at least, or they're gonna lose their player base. Like I said, with Call of Duty and Battlefield adding Battle Royale, and there's people gonna go to that, and they might come back to Fortnite if they're not feeling it. Those games at least aren't well balanced, which I've talked about before. How are they gonna do it? They talked about in Call of Duty's reveal. We're gonna have land, sea, and air vehicles. Like, really, air vehicles? It's like it needs to be balanced. Truthfully, yes, I understand. People are excited for it, but some people who are overly excited for it, I find to be also just a bit idiotic, because yes, it's gonna be interesting to see, but let's just wait and see. Because in the end, if it's not truly balanced, then it's just not going to be fun, Like, granted, Fortnite isn't too imbalanced, but like I said, it does kind of have an imbalance to it with the shotguns and the building mechanics. But overall, it's not that badly imbalanced. It's still got a balance to it, but it's not. But it still has somewhat of an imbalance to it. Like with, say, PUBG, it does have an imbalance to it where they're not keeping up to date with the issues and the performances and everything. They need to do better there. And one of the things I think, at least with the Xbox version, they can do that they added in that they should just fucking remove, It's the fact that in Erangel they pretty much put barb, not barb, what is it? They put what the fuck is that word or words? It's pretty much they put these barb, fuck, what is it? Sorry, I gotta search this. It's like I know it's in my mind that word or words is there. I can't fucking reach them. It's like my mind's, you know, like that old kind of money winning game where it's like you're in a funnel and it's kind of air spinning money around. You gotta try and grab it. And it's kind of like that with my mind. It's like these words are here and there. Do your best to grab those fuckers and get it out, dude. Seriously. For the most part, I'm good. But like I said, you're seeing here, like this word or words I can't find. It's just out of, I just can't grab it. It's just going around my mind too fast. Yeah, it's but it wasn't barbed wire. It's like these steel beams, whatever. Let's see, PUBG. Window. Not window. Windows, I guess Windows, window bars, there we go, window bars, yes, they have these window bars. I had that kind of word right, but I kept saying barbs instead of bars. Yes, they have these window bars pretty much on like 90% of the fucking windows, which is the most retarded shit. For one, like I said, it probably is what fucked over some of the game performance. They just need to remove it. As well as just gameplay itself, like you can't do much flanking. Grenade gameplay is gonna probably gone down, and when you trying to use grenades with these bars, these probably the the aspects of suicide in the game is probably gone up. You know, in that you're trying to throw a grenade somewhere, but it bounces off one of the bars and kills you instead, kind of thing. It's fucking stupid. They need to remove at least a good portion of those bars on the windows, because like I said, it just game performance-wise maybe caused a bit of an issue, so maybe you want to look at that, as well as like gameplay-wise, you kind of fucked over the players. You know, like I said, flanking's kind of gotten fucked over because of that. I can understand like putting on some here and there, so it's like overly like, you know, like okay, I got somebody in here, I'll just jump into this window here and flank. Like I understand like with some of the buildings they have the bars on them, but not all windows there has it. Where some was like on the ground floor, it's like pretty much every window has a bars on it, especially like in the top windows. Like a lot of these windows have bars on them. It's like they fucked over a lot of the gameplay in PUBG with those bars, and I think they need to just straight up just remove them. I think with performance wise, they can get better performance out of that. And I'm not sure how some development in games work, but one thing is, if they could do it with at least Xbox, maybe PC if that thing's still there, but the main island that you used to spawn on, where everybody spawn on and they had the weapons and everything, being that they changed it up to where it's better performance wise if they spawn people at a different variety of areas in the map itself. If they could remove it, at least in the only place I think has that spawning island anymore, Erangel, if they could remove that spawn island, I think that would help with performances. If you know that island just ceased to exist and they cut it off and that area is less of a place to go. Granted, people still kind of spawn on the island, but being how big Erangel is, you can pick somewhere to spawn them. I swear to God, it shouldn't be that hard, you know. But like I said, I don't know how the coding of the game would work if they could remove the island or not. I've stated that they should, but in general, I think it would probably help performance issues if they could, you know, remove that island, you know, and just pretty much cut that off of actual game existing area, you know, like there's just like probably like at some distance areas you probably can't actually boat to, you know, there's like a invisible wall that you can't go out to in the what areas nowhere would you want to, maybe because you're kind of, you know, fucking yourself over getting stuff, and probably just the storm would kill you, you know, kind of thing. But overall, I think if they could do that, that would probably help with performances. Overall, the only thing left to talk about is the controversies of these two games. As people say, well, there's only controversy with PUBG. There is, but there is a controversy that you might not know of with Fortnite. Now, let's speak of at least with that one first, so that way you can be informed. And these are facts. These aren't just my opinions. I will state of my opinions, but these are facts. Fortnite is doing what it can, as well as PUBG, to battle cheaters, hackers, be the creators of the hacks or the people who use the hacks, as best they can. For the most part, these two companies are trying to go after the main, creators of these hackers, so they can stop these people either like making money, which they might be able to, I don't know, or like just implementing these cheats out into the world to get these people who seemingly just pretty much probably suck at the game, that want to play it, that just use cheats to win and stuff. It just shows how it's a known fact for truthfully any good gamer or just average gamer, I guess. If you have to cheat to win, you're just pathetic. You just are. That's factual. The fact that you have to use an advantage over somebody else is pathetic. But like I said, these two companies are doing what they can to battle cheaters, and one of the ways in which Fortnite is like I said, they are trying to go after, at least legal-wise, after these creators of hacks, these hackers, these cheats. And one of the person or they kind of went after is this 14-year-old kid. Now, I'm not sure if he's the creator or whatever, but they're kind of going after a kid, a 14-year-old teenager, of cheating and using hacks in their game for the most part, of spreading the hacks, or like I said, maybe creating the hacks. But they're going after a 14-year-old kid, and some people are seeing that as kind of scummy, that they're going after a kid, a 14-year-old. Granted, he's a young adult, but still, until you hit like 16, mainly 18, you can't be considered an adult. And the fact that they're going after a kid kind of thing seems kind of odd and kind of scummy. They stated earlier, we might not go after him. It might seem a bad idea, being that he might not be the creator of the hackers. But they still stated recently that, we're going after this kid. They are. And the controversy and aspects of PUBG, which I think some people might be misrepresenting or not seeing truthfully, is that PUBG, Bluehold, the creators of PUBG, are going after Epic, the creators of Fortnite. Now, people have stated here and there, they're doing what they're saying is, they're biting the hand that feeds them, because PUBG runs on the Unreal Engine, which is created by Epic, the creators of Fortnite. Now, the reason why I think some people might be misrepresenting or misseeing this is like, granted, yes, it runs on their engine, but one of the reasons which I did see I felt was stupid is how early on in Fortnite, how they were promoting the Battle Royale of their games. Like, it's like, we enjoy a lot of Battle Royale games just like you. We were inspired by H1C1 and PUBG. We wouldn't want to make this. And PUBG saw that as like a promotion of Fortnite that they didn't acknowledge. But they're acknowledging the game PUBG. They're not promoting their game with the aspects of PUBG, and I think they see that as though what they are doing is like, if you enjoy PUBG and everything, they got our backs, we're making Fortnite, come play, kind of thing, which I don't think is the way in which they really presented it. They present it as, we enjoy games like PUBG and H1C1, we're making our own Battle Royale game like them. If you like those games and want to try out our game, come do so. It's free to play. Yes, that's the other thing. We'll just quickly point on PUBG does cost money. It's $30 pretty much overall if you start the early testing, and as well as I think after the release on PC it's still $30. But Fortnite is free to play, and the things that they are on is like I said, PC and Xbox for PUBG, but PC, Xbox, and PlayStation for Fortnite. If you want to play H1C1, it's only on PC for now, except for like a bit of a beta that kind of going on PS4, which it might be coming to Xbox as well, but being that it's a beta on PS4, it's probably going to come down to PS4, but we don't know if it's going to come out on Xbox, but that's whatever, that's the side to say. But yes, back to the controversies aspects of this, PUBG versus Fortnite, pretty much. Bluehold versus Epic. One thing I think of the aspects of misrepresentation that some people are saying is that of the hand that feeds them and everything, is that they're probably not seeing the full scope. Now, I did watch a YouTuber by the name of Sadafa, in which they presented the way that the legal aspects of Bluehold going after Fortnite does seem kind of almost like, like we own the Battle Royale genre, we're PUBG, we pretty much blew it up and we are the owners. And even though the main guy, Frank Green, said, if you want to try doing a Battle Royale, it's okay, just put your own kind of spin on it. And they see as Epic and Fortnite not actually much putting a spin on it, being that they've only added in like a building mechanic kind of thing. But that's whatever, If that's true, that is kind of stupid, you know. But from what I could understand from what other people have explained, it is yes, PUBG runs on the Unreal Engine, which is by Epic, which has done Fortnite. And when they started up doing PUBG, they were working closely with Epic to ensure that they probably got the best results on their game with their engine. You know, it's like, you know, we want to do this. How can we do it with your engine? We want to do this and this and this. How best can we use your engine in that into doing these kind of implications of this game that we want to do? And then they went and did Fortnite after probably hearing about all these aspects of PUBG. So if it's in that aspects, it does kind of see that they might kind of have a bit of a foot to stand on. If the legal aspects being that, you know, if overall it's just like I said, if it is the whole aspects in which some people are showing, like it's like they seem that Epic didn't really put much of a spin on it, too much. It was like too close of a copy and paste of PUBG. Which there are, like I said, some similarities, but there are a lot of differences between these two games. But we have to wait and see on that aspect. But if it is an aspect which some people have stated, like it's like we work closely with Epic to ensure that we can do our best that we can of PUBG on their engine, because that's the engine that we pretty much bought to use it on, or reserved, or whatever, you know. And then they went and did their own Battle Royale game. It does kind of seem odd that, you know, like it does kind of seem almost a bit scummy on Epic's standpoint. Granted, like I said, who knows overall? We have to wait and see in aspects, but of controversy, they're both kind of like, I don't know what to think fully, but, you know, overall we have to wait and see as more time and information comes about. But overall, on these two games, they're okay. You know, they're their own game, you know, they're different play styles and everything, and if you like what you like, play what you play, you know. I'm not trying to state anything in here in which you shouldn't enjoy. If you enjoy playing Fortnite, enjoy it. If you enjoy playing PUBG, enjoy it, you know. Overall, this is just my factual aspects and opinions on the overall these two games that have enforcing each other, and the gaming platform as in also the legality platform, is which mainly being that, you know, you got Fortnite being sued by PUBG. But overall, this is a standpoint of facts, opinions, and thoughts of these two games and their forcing each other and whatnot and stuff, and my opinions on what you were given, you know. I thank you for watching. I hope you're informed, I hope you're entertained, and I hope you have a rock'em sock'em day. A peace.